Muscle mass, minimizing muscle loss and regaining muscle. Well, what happens to all of us as we age is that every year we lose a couple of percentages of muscle mass after 40 or 50. And that is basically due to a couple of things. As we age, the outside of our body just doesn't age. Our intestines age. So even if you ate the perfect food, perfect breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you wouldn't absorb or digest the protein you need to make your muscles. So don't think about, diet alone, a perfect diet alone, usually after 45 or 50 is not enough. So what's really important are getting the right amino acids and having the body be able to break them and make them available to build muscle. For instance, Zen Fit, which is the essential amino acid drink, is a unique blend of pre-digested proteins. 20 grams of protein in one little drink. Okay, and that's a lot of protein and very, very few carbohydrates. More importantly, Zen Fit has a special type of amino acid called a branched chain amino acid. And L-leucine is the name of that very special amino acid that helps you build muscle much, much quicker. So the science behind these products has looked at what do we need if you're 40 and over. Now the reason we eat protein is to break it down to get these essential amino acids that our body can't make on its own and we can't even digest as we get older. Protein in this form actually keeps your appetite down and it keeps you more stable throughout the day and gives you more energy. And as we age, it's harder to build or maintain muscle even with exercise. And the secret here is getting the right type of protein. L-leucine is one of the key components we've made sure we have in Zen Fit. Again, those branched chain amino acids that actually have little arms on them so they can actually get into the muscle quicker, are the ones that help build muscle when you exercise, whether it's yoga, whether it's just walking or jogging, playing tennis. A special type of amino acid required for that. So how does all this work inside the body, and what is the secret to permanent weight loss, a youthful body, and improved health? Are really these two hormones. And I'm going to try to make this really simple and fun for you. Leptin, okay? What does it do? It lets you know when you're full, okay? Adiponectin, it aids leptin and also knocks down your blood sugar. Okay, so I'm going to be asking everybody a little quiz at the end. Adiponectin lets you know when you're full. Leptin lets you know when you're full, and adiponectin aids leptin and knocks down your blood sugar. We're going to look at that. So what really happens is in the fat cells in our body, fat cells produce that protein called leptin. It gets into the bloodstream, it travels to our brain, and it tells us, I'm full, I don't need to eat anymore. Okay? And that's the secret. If that hormone isn't working right, it's not shutting off your desire to eat. Okay? And there's a number of things that stop that hormone, leptin, lets you know when you're full. And if we can turn off that signal, you won't eat as much, and you won't gain as much body fat, and you'll actually start burning body fat. Okay? So how does this work? When leptin is balanced in the body, it goes to the blood, gets to the brain, and tells the brain to turn off your appetite, and it actually increases the burning of your fat cells. So that hormone does two things. Stops your desire to eat and actually allows you to start burning more body fat. As people accumulate more fat, okay, in those fat cells, by the way, you don't grow new fat cells. You're born with a certain number of fat cells. Most people don't know this. You might be born with a couple trillion fat cells. You don't grow new ones at all. When you gain weight, each one of those fat cells gets bigger, and when you lose weight, those fat cells get smaller. So you're not growing new ones, okay? But each one of those fat cells, we now know is actually like a little small pharmacy. It's making hundreds of different types of proteins and compounds that regulate your whole body. And we're going to talk about the key ones, again, that help keep you slim, help you lose body fat, but also help you gain muscle mass. So one of the other bad ones is this thing called CRP, or C-reactive protein. I like to call it crap, okay? So it's crap because what it does is it actually coats the leptin molecule and doesn't let it do its job. So far we have leptin, which lets you feel full. Adiponectin, which helps aid leptin, drops your blood sugar down, keeps your blood sugar under control. And we have CRP, or CRAP, which coats the leptin molecule and doesn't let it do its job. Pretty easy, right? So the secret here is, how do we keep the balance of these three hormones? And again, the science behind that is what the Zen body is all about. Okay, leptin and leptin resistance, which means leptin that's coated and is not working, okay, is what we want to avoid. And the human body has a perfect system to keep its composition of leanness and fat in a healthy range. And it's all dependent upon this hormone called leptin. Okay? When leptin is working correctly, our appetite and our cravings are all working in harmony, and we don't gain any extra fat. If you have too much of this CRP, what's that called? CRAP. You inhibit leptin's job, and you're going to gain body fat, and you're going to just continue to eat. Now, fat creates CRP, and the CRP sticks to the leptin molecule and basically coats it and keeps it from doing its job. So we had to come up with what compounds can actually inhibit CRP or help remove from that leptin molecule. Well, Zen Shake helps to restore the balance and sensitivity to the leptin molecules by doing just that. Okay, so again, adiponectin aids the leptin molecule. It actually helps do the same thing, but it also lowers your blood sugar. And one of the primary reasons for people gaining body fat is they eat too much sugar. Okay, one slice of white bread is worse than drinking two Coca-Colas sugar content. It actually gets converted into fat quicker. And we didn't even know that until the last few years. So adiponectin is a very important hormone also that works with leptin. And when we have an abundance of adiponectin, our body responds well, but also our blood sugar stays lower. So we don't convert blood sugar into body fat. Okay. One more thing, this is a big one. G3-PDH. What does that mean? It's glycerol-free phosphorydehydrogenase. Okay, we don't have to know that. What we do want to know is, G. Please decrease my heaviness. G3, please decrease. And that's spelled wrong. It should be G3-PDH. Please decrease my heaviness. We don't want to be heavy. So what this compound does, okay, is we actually want less of it, okay? And what it does is actually it actually converts blood sugar to body fat quicker. So we've now figured out a way to help keep that down with the components that are in Zen body. So Zen Shake, for instance, helps to inhibit this enzyme, which may help reduce the impact of sugar getting converted into body fat. Okay, in an actual published study, research that is actually concerned about one of the key nutrients in Zen Shake showed inhibiting this G3-PDH activity by 71.6% actually reduced fat production dramatically, almost more than 80%. So it sounds a little complicated, but it's really not. We're really looking at about 4 different things that fat cell makes that we're learning how to control without the use of extensive hormones or injections, and with the right natural occurring compounds and supplements. Okay. Now, one other thing. One of the other important fat signals that the Zen body system supports is norepinephrine. Now, norepinephrine is available not only throughout the body, but it's in the brain too. And it's one of the key transmitters that helps keep us in a good mood. But it also is a major appetite suppressant. So norepinephrine naturally increases fat burning as well. So the more of that we have, the less body fat we collect. And particularly if we have probably a good lifestyle, these are the things that make a big difference. So for instance, Zen Shake supports natural norepinephrine levels in the body. It's been shown that a nutrient in Zen Shake affects the metabolism of our bodies by supporting optimal levels of norepinephrine. So you're not only going to burn fat better, you're going to feel a little more positive throughout the day. And isn't aging and anti-aging isn't anti-aging really about not only looking better, but feeling better? So L-tyrosine is one of the compounds that we've decided to use to not only help make more norepinephrine, the other thing that happens to all of us as we age, our thyroid gland starts to get a little slow. When your thyroid gland gets slow, you don't have the energy, you don't burn body fat. So this was another target we had to look at inside the cell. And so now with L-tyrosine, that actually helps improve the function of the thyroid gland. So it actually will make more of those key compounds it needs to keep you energetic and burn body fat. But with the L-tyrosine as well, what we've been able to do is actually be able to enhance the level of norepinephrine so you don't eat. It actually decreases your desire to eat as well. Okay, food and exercise.
Jeunesse, we are redefining youth.